coaches. It's Coach Connor here, and I want to bring to you a little bit of a breakdown around elbow position for different pressing and particularly overhead pressing variations. So we can categorize this, and hey, before you come at me in the comments or anywhere else, I'm not an artist, I did not go to art school, I'm doing my best, okay? If you can imagine, just indulge, humor me, we got ourselves a clock face, and we've got 5, 4, and 3 o'clock to represent our different elbow angles. If we're talking strict press, we're gonna be at 5 o'clock. The elbows are still in front of the midline, in front of the barbell, but they're only up so high. If we're talking push press, we come up a little bit to 4 o'clock. So we're that much farther up in front of the bar, but they're still not as high as they could be, say, in something like a push or split jerk where we want to get elbows all the way up to 3 o'clock. And the reason behind these different elevations, so if we think about first the strict press, we want our elbow in front of the bar so that we can support the bar on the collarbone and have it still the weight is stacked over the midline. But if the elbow is too high and I get no benefit from the lower half to move this angle and move these positions, the elbow has way more opening to do than the shoulder does. And really, rather than getting a true press overhead, if elbow is too tall, we've basically just turned this into the world's hardest tricep extension, holding a barbell in your hands or a set of dumbbells or kettlebells or whatever it is that you're moving. So the reason, again, elbows in front, to keep weight on the shoulder, but we keep it only so high so that both elbow and shoulder can open at the same time, recruiting from tricep and shoulder as we get the weight up overhead. When we get into the push press, the reason we bring the elbow up is, on the one hand, we can expect the weight to, at least potentially, a little bit heavier if we're talking about this in a strength context. And so we need to be even more sure that the weight is back on the collarbone, stacked on the body, rather than supporting the weight out away from the shoulder. Then though, the dip and drive of the push press, if we do things properly, just from leg drive alone, we get the barbell to start moving vertically. And then if we were to take a snapshot of this angle where now, okay, it's arms, it's your turn, and lower it down, just like that, we're pretty much at our 5 o'clock angle that becomes more advantageous for the process of the press. So again, elbows are lifted up in front. Leg drive puts us in a more optimal pressing angle. And then, of course, we finish with the arms through to the end. And then 3 o'clock we'll have for the push and the split jerk. And the reason for that is that with these two movements, we're not as worried about pressing the weight. Really, when it comes to the push jerk, our job is to get the weight up high enough that we can come underneath and stabilize it. And the same is true with the split jerk, just with the change in foot position. So we don't need to be as worried about really pressing up into the barbell. Rather, elbows get as high as we can get them so the bar is as stacked over the midline as possible, as supported for our lower half to get things moving, and then put us in a position where we can drop back under and stabilize. So I hope this all makes sense. I hope this can be a handy reference system for you and your coaching and when you're working with athletes based on different movement patterns. And of course, as always, never hesitate to reach out if you got any questions. Thanks for all you do.